Okay, sir, you can start, sir.
Can you hear me, sir? Good afternoon, Mandal. Welcome to Shanvi Learning Services. Welcome to biology session. Okay, see children here. In last class, we have discussed about hemoglobin and oxygen CO2, how CO2 is usually transported as bicarbonate, while some amount of it combined with hemoglobin and rest is dissolved in blood plasma. Okay, here we have a reaction. Hb plus O2 gives rise to HbO2 oxyhemoglobin, and HbO2 will form as like again hemoglobin plus oxygen. See here, when oxygen is loaded in the blood capillaries from the lungs, from alveolus of lungs, then it is carried out near the cell tissue. When it is goes in the respiration process, this hemoglobin is binding that oxygen and carrying that like as oxyhemoglobin. So HbO2 is transporting to the tissue level. Then there the tissue level, then oxygen, when this blood reaches to the tissue, the hemoglobin is with oxygen HbO2. From that HbO2, Hb and O2 is divided. Then O2 will be supplied to the cell for respiration process. Then there the carbon dioxide will be released and water and energy also produced. Okay. So the second reaction, that okay, blood is carrying from that particular place after loading that oxygen to the tissue. At tissue level, this again HbO2 oxyhemoglobin is breaking down like the Hb plus O2. This O2 is utilized for the cells to involve in the respiration process to release carbon dioxide and produce water and energy. Okay. So that is the reaction of Hb plus O2 gives rise to HbO2 when loading the oxygen. When it is carried out the tissue, there HbO2 again divide like Hb plus O2. This O2 is utilized for the respiration process by the cells. Okay. By the cellular respiration, the H2O will release and carbon dioxide will be released and energy will be produced. Okay. Again, that carbon dioxide will bring back to the lungs level. Then here exchange of gases will take place, oxygen capillary side and carbon dioxide lungs side. Okay. So here gases exchange capillaries to cells and back. Capillaries to cells and back, as we have discussed up to now. See here, red blood cells and tissues here clearly given. The capillaries or the tissues, hemoglobin meets a very different environment. The tissues cells are continuously using oxygen. Okay, the capillaries or the tissues, hemoglobin meets a very different environment. Okay, the tissue cells are continuously using oxygen O2. See here, red blood cells, tissues. See, from red blood cells, oxygen is going to the tissue side. From tissue, carbon dioxide is going to the red blood cell side. Okay, so like this exchange of gas is taking place at a tissue level here. Here, this is tissue. Okay, at tissue level, exchange of gases is taking place. Okay, from red blood cells to tissues, oxygen. From tissues to red blood cells, carbon dioxide. Okay, where the from where the carbon dioxide comes is by the cellular respiration. After utilizing this oxygen, the cells involved in the cellular respiration process, carbon dioxide and water and energy will be produced. In that, carbon dioxide will bring back to the red blood cells. Okay, this red blood cells can bring back the carbon dioxide to the lungs level. There again, the exchange of gases will happen. Okay, from lungs to blood cells, oxygen, from blood cells to lungs, carbon dioxide. Okay, like that process will goes on. Here, hence the concentration of oxygen is quite low in them. It might be only 1/3 of that in the lungs. Okay, and the concentration of oxygen. See here, the capillaries or the tissues, hemoglobin meets a very different environment. The tissue cells are continuously using oxygen, and the concentration of oxygen is quite low in them. Okay, oxygen is quite low in them. It might be only 1/3 of that in the lungs. Okay, children. Next, see here, the oxygen is quite low in them. It might be only 1/3 of that in the lungs. So that is showing here this figure. And next, as the concentration of oxygen is so low, okay, not so low, SOLO not here, so low, LOW, okay. As the concentration of oxygen is so low, oxyhemoglobin releases the oxygen molecule that enters the cells in the reaction that occur within cells. As the concentration of oxygen is so low, oxyhemoglobin releases the oxygen molecule that enters the cell. Okay, children. As the concentration of oxygen is so low, that's why here oxyhemoglobin releases the oxygen molecule. Then that released oxygen molecule enters the cells here. Okay, in the reaction that occurs within the cell. See here, air in, out, alveoli, oxygenated blood out. Oxygenated blood out. Here, carbon dioxide out. Red blood cells in capillary. Okay. And next, in our bodies, carbon dioxide and water are produced and energy is released to be used up for different purposes. Different purposes. As I told you, by the cellular respiration in our bodies, the carbon dioxide and water are produced and energy is released. Okay. In the cellular respiration, after utilizing that oxygen by the cellular respiration in our body, carbon dioxide and water are produced and energy can be released. Okay, that released energy to be used up for different purposes. Different purposes that were released energy can be used. Okay, the next topic is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. As we used this word cellular respiration up to now, and along with that we said that carbon dioxide and H2O are produced and energy is released. That released energy can be used up for different purposes. So what is cellular respiration? As you know already. The next one is cellular respiration. See here, cellular respiration refers to the pathway by which cells release energy from the chemical bonds of a molecule. Okay, see here, look at the screen, all of you. Cellular respiration refers to the pathway. Okay, cellular respiration refers to the pathway by which cells release energy. By which cells release energy from the chemical bonds of a food molecule. From the chemical bonds of a food molecule. Okay, so when the bonds get oxygen, then only the breaking down of bonds can be happen and energy will be released. So if there is no oxygen, there is no releasing of energy. That's why cellular respiration is must to release energy. Okay, see here, Cellular respiration refers to the pathway by which cells release energy from the chemical bonds of a food molecule. Okay, so here it is showing from the mitochondria, because as you know, mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. The energy, the power is stored in mitochondria. Mitochondria is one of the cell organelle. Cell organelle. Next, see here that enter them and provide that energy for the essential process of life. All living cells must carry out cellular respiration. Okay, cellular respiration refers that, okay, cellular respiration refers to the pathway by which cells release energy from the chemical bonds of food molecule, and that enter them and provide that energy for the essential processes of life. As I told just now before, like it is essential for the process of life. All living cells must carry out cellular respiration. All living cells must carry out the cellular respiration to release energy. Okay, to release energy and to occur the different essential processes. Okay, life processes. And next one, it takes place in the presence of the oxygen. How the cellular respiration will takes place? In presence of a oxygen. It takes place, the cellular respiration takes place in the presence of the oxygen, O2, which is called aerobic respiration. Very important, children. Okay, so the cellular respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, which is called aerobic respiration. Or in the absence of oxygen is anaerobic respiration. So cellular respiration in the presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration, and or in the absence of oxygen is anaerobic respiration that takes place. Okay, so the cellular respiration in presence of oxygen, if that occurs, that is aerobic respiration. Then absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration. In your books, there will be one flow chart for this, and there you may have in presence of oxygen aerobic respiration, absence of oxygen are very low concentration of oxygen. Okay, the absence are low amount of oxygen is anaerobic respiration. So that very low amount of oxygen that cannot be considered. So absence are very low amount of oxygen, and then that is a aerobic respiration. The presence of oxygen is a sorry. The presence of oxygen is aerobic respiration. Absence are low, very low amount of oxygen is a anaerobic respiration. ANAEROBIC, anaerobic respiration. Very, very important, children. Okay. Now, cellular respiration in prokaryotic cells. Okay, cellular respiration in prokaryotic cells like that of bacteria. Okay, and bacteria next occurs with the cytoplasm. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria are the sites of the reaction. Are the sites of the reaction. Here, cytoplasm is bacteria. Okay. Next, cellular respiration in prokaryotic cells, like that of bacteria, occurs with the cytoplasm. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria are the sites of the reaction. Okay, once again, cellular respiration in prokaryotic cells, like that of bacteria, occurs with the cytoplasm. Occurs with the cytoplasm. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria are the sites of the reaction. In prokaryotic cells, only cytoplasm, but in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria are the sites of the reaction. Next, the produced energy. The produced energy is stored in mitochondria. As I told you just now, mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. Then the total energy will be stored in that mitochondria. Mitochondria. So that's why mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell, and this mitochondria is a cell organelle. Cell organelle. So the produced energy is stored in mitochondria in the form of ATP. The produced energy. See, children, as I told you, by the cellular respiration, energy will be released. Okay. So this produced energy, some amount of energy can be utilized for our metabolic activities at that time, and excess of energy will be stored in mitochondria in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, ADENOSINE, adenosine, TRI, tri, and PHO, SPHATE, phosphate, adenosine triphosphate. Mitochondria are called powerhouse of the cell. Okay, it can be repeated again. Mitochondria called the powerhouse of the cell because that produced energy is stored in mitochondria in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, see children here, one ATP is equal to the, please note down, one ATP gives 7,200 calories, children. Okay, okay, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Okay, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP, one ATP gives us 7,200 calories. Not kilocalories, only calories. 7,200 calories. So mitochondria are called the powerhouse of the cells because the produced energy is stored in mitochondria in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. One ATP gives 7,200 calories. Okay. Okay. Next, the breakdown of sugar or other foods. So what is the sugar? Like glucose. Okay. Excess carbons of glucose. So here the breakdown of glucose plus glucose, fructose. Okay. So like that again fructose, and if you add again somewhat glucose molecules, then you get a sugar. So the breakdown of sugar or other foods within a living cell does not takes place as a single reaction but occurs in series of small steps. See, look at the screen, all of you. See here, series of small steps does not take place as a single reaction. Okay, the breakdown of sugar or other foods. See children, the breakdown of sugar or other foods within a living cell, within a living cell does not take place as a single reaction. As you are looking at the screen, does not takes place as a single reaction but occurs in a series of small steps. See here how many steps are there. So in this manner that reaction will occur in a small steps, series of small steps. That's why here again I repeat, the breakdown of sugar or other foods within a living cell does not takes place as a single reaction. Look at the screen, all of you. There is no single reaction. Okay, but that occurs in a series of small steps. That occurs in a series of small steps. See how many series are there here. Step by step, step by step. Okay. So like this in series way, step by step by step, the reaction will takes place. Okay, it's not a single, does not takes place in a single as a single reaction, but occurs in a series of small steps. Okay. Next, the chemical nature of the molecule from one stage to the next. Okay, the chemical nature of the molecule from one stage to the next is slight. If any step, a small amount of energy is released. The chemical nature of the molecule from one stage to the next is slight. If any step, a small amount of energy is released. The complete breakdown of a sugar molecule with the release of all its available energy involves a series of different chemical reaction. The complete breakdown of a sugar molecule, the complete breakdown of a sugar molecule with the release of all its available energy involves a series of different chemical reaction. Okay, I repeat again, the complete breakdown of a sugar molecule with the release of all its available energy, involves a series of different chemical reactions, different chemical reaction. Next, in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm, as we discussed here, in prokaryotic cells, cytoplasm can involve. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria both can be involved. Okay, in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria is the sites of see here. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria is the sites of respiration, the energy released from the breaking down of. Okay, see here. In eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm. In prokaryotic cells, only in cytoplasm, but in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria is the sites of respiration, children. Okay, don't forget. In prokaryotic cells, which is the site of respiration? Only cytoplasm. But in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria both are the sites of the respiration. The energy released from the breakdown of a sugar molecule. The energy released from the breakdown of a sugar molecule is stored in a special compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. As I told you here, ATP, which gives 7,200 calories of energy by each ATP. Okay, see here once again, I repeat. In prokaryotic cells, the site of the respiration is cytoplasm, but eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria both are the sites of respiration. Prokaryotic cells, cytoplasm only the site of respiration, but in eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria both are the sites of respiration. The energy released from the breakdown of a sugar molecule. How energy can be released? The energy can be released with the breakdown of a sugar molecule is stored in a special compound. Is stored in a special compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, sugar molecule. Okay, the energy released from the breakdown of sugar molecule that is stored in a special compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which gives 7,200 calories of energy by each ATP. As I told you, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, one ATP gives 7,200 calories. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Okay. So very important, children. In prokaryotic cells, the site of the respiration is cytoplasm. See here. In eukaryotic cells, the cytoplasm and mitochondria both are the sites of respiration. The energy can be released from the breakdown of a sugar molecule. Then the sugar molecule, that energy is stored in a special compound called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That adenosine triphosphate, which gives us 7,200 calories of energy by each ATP. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Okay, how it is stored? The energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Phosphate bonds. The form of phosphate bonds. Next, sugar molecule is stored in a special compound called ATP, and which gives you 7,200 calories of energy by each ATP. This energy is stored in the form of phosphate bonds. Okay. then the bond is broken. The bond is broken, the stored energy is released. How the bond is broken? When the oxygen is reached that particular place, then the bond is broken, breakdown. The bond is breakdown. Then after breaking down the bond, the phosphate bonds, the energy can be released. So, so oxidation process will happen, children. Addition of oxygens is oxidation. So when the oxygen molecules are added to that, then the phosphate bonds are breakdown. Like that's why here given the bonds is broken, the stored energy is released. When the broken the phosphate bonds by utilizing the oxygen, which is called oxidation process, then the stored energy is released. So that's why that's most required oxygen. If there is no oxygen, the stored energy as it is like phosphate bonds only will be, there is no energy will be produced for us. Okay, so we must needed oxygen to produce the energy by this reason. Okay, now here this is very important flow chart. See here, glucose turns to pyruvate. The pyruvate or pyruvic acid, three carbon compound. Okay, by the glycolysis process, glucose to pyruvate will produce, and here the pyruvate is a three carbon compound, and energy also can be released by this glycolysis. By the glycolysis, glucose to pyruvates are formed. The pyruvates are three carbon compound, and along with that energy also can be produced. See here, if options are low amount of oxygen here, see options are low amount of oxygen, anaerobic respiration and fermentation. Okay, and what about the other side? Presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration. Presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration. Okay, in the aerobic respiration, there's carbon dioxide, water, and energy will be produced. Okay, here carbon dioxide, water will be produced, and energy can be released. The example, plants and animals, plants and animals, like human beings also. Okay, the best example for that. What about anaerobic respiration side? Here we can take two examples, lactobacillus bacteria and one other was either side is yeast. If the absence of low amount of oxygen, anaerobic respiration and fermentation, in that anaerobic respiration, if yeast involves, then that produces that ethanol and carbon dioxide and energy can be released. Okay. Next, what about lactic acid plus energy? Bacillus bacteria. As you know, you are very familiar with this lactobacillus bacteria. When you add 2 spoons or like some amount of curd for that lukewarm milk, and keep aside, that will go to the goes on the anaerobic respiration process, and produces lactic acid and releases energy also. That's why that curd is like sour in taste, and the bacteria, lactobacillus bacteria can be released energy. So in that process, that lukewarm milk is converted to the curd when we add a sample of lactobacillus bacteria by this anaerobic respiration. And one more interesting, yeast. Like all are going and getting breads, buns from bakery. Okay, but you don't know how it is, like how it is formed like as bun. Okay, like if we touch that very soft and like bun, you just feel that, and that contains small holes in that fluffy type. Okay, so what is happening? So they will take that particular duff, in the duff again they will collect yeast or add somewhat yeast on the duff, and again by taking some amount of duff, and they will cover. Then that yeast can goes in anaerobic respiration. In that anaerobic respiration, ethanol produced and carbon dioxide will be produced, and energy will be released. So that's why buns are like in taste like some ethyl alcohol type. Okay, some alcoholic taste you will get buns and breads like that, and energy also released. And here carbon dioxide also produced. Then carbon dioxide is gas now, so that gas will not stay there. That will try to come outside from the bun. So in that way, carbon dioxide gas will form holes in the top layer like bread, and carbon dioxide gas will be released outside. In that way, that will become like very fluffy and like a bun with contain holes. The holes are due to this carbon dioxide releases. Okay, that is the reason. And see here, glucose is the most commonly used sugar. As you know, glucose is the most commonly used sugar for deriving energy in plants and animals. Right? Glucose is the most commonly used sugar for deriving energy in plants, animals, and in microorganisms also. Okay, children. Glucose is the most commonly used sugar for deriving energy in plants, animals, and microorganisms. In all these organisms, what are plants, animals, and microorganisms, in all these organisms, the glucose is oxidized in two stages. How many stages the glucose is oxidized? In two stages. In the first stage, please look at the screen, that flow chart, and listen here. In the first stage, as I told, in all these organisms, the glucose is oxidized in two stages. Okay, in the first stage, it is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. In first stage, as I told you, that glucose is oxidized in two stages. In that first stage, it is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. Two molecules of pyruvic acid. In the second stage, if oxygen is available, then this down step will takes place. Okay, if presence of oxygen, or if oxygen is available in next step, then pyruvic acid, pyruvates, okay, is oxidized to carbon dioxide, water. Large amount of energy is released. This is the main point, children. Large amount of energy is released. The large amount of energy is released in which reaction? Here, example, plants and animals, aerobic respiration, the large amount of energy will be released. Okay, in first step, the first step in that oxidation process will occurs in two steps. In first stage, it is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. In second stage, if oxygen is available, then the pyruvic acid is oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. Large amount of, here very important, large amount of energy is released in down arrow mark. Okay, so here presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration, CO2 plus H2O plus energy. Example, plants and animals. Here large amount of energy is released. Okay, if oxygen is inadequate, okay, inadequate. Adequate means what? Sufficient. Inadequate means not sufficient. Okay, if oxygen is inadequate or not utilized, pyruvic acid is converted into either ethanol or lactic acid. If that is the ethanol, that lactobacillus bacteria, lactic acid, and very little amount of energy is released. See, children, here in aerobic respiration, large amount of energy is released. In anaerobic respiration, very little amount of energy released. What is that little amount of energy? Nearly 1/10 of that is produced with adequate amount of oxygen. Okay. How much? Nearly 1/10 of that is produced with adequate amounts of oxygen. Okay, this is the concept. Repeat once again. See here, glucose to pyruvate. Pyruvate is 3-carbon compound plus energy by the glycolysis process. If oxygen is present, that will go for that aerobic respiration down and produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy is released. Example, plants and animals, like human beings also comes under animals, okay, social animals. Then glucose to pyruvate 3-carbon compound energy can be released by the glycolysis process. If oxygen is present, that will go for the aerobic side. If oxygen is absent or very low, then it will go for the anaerobic respiration and fermentation. Anaerobic respiration. Here, if there is lactobacillus bacteria, that can be produced lactic acid and energy will be released. If yeast, that produce ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy will be released. Okay, so very very important. I repeat once again about this, and after that I will end the session. Please listen carefully. ATP nothing but adenosine triphosphate. One ATP gives 7,200 calories. Glucose is the most commonly used sugar for deriving energy in plants, animals, and in microorganisms even. In all these organisms, the glucose is oxidized in how many stages? Two stages. Two stages. Glucose is oxidized in two stages. In the first stage, it is means glucose is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. In first stage, glucose is converted into two molecules of pyruvic acid. What about in the second stage? Here, first stage happened, second stage now. In second stage, if oxygen is available, pyruvic acid is oxidized to carbon dioxide and what large amount of energy can be released. This is a aerobic respiration. Example, plants and animals. Very, very important. What about other side? In that same reaction, second stage, first stage is happened. Okay, glucose to pyruvic acids. Okay, then in second stage, if oxygen is absent or low amount of oxygen, then that is cause the anaerobic respiration fermentation. In this, if oxygen is inadequate or not utilized, pyruvic acid is okay. If oxygen is inadequate or not utilized, if oxygen not utilized also or inadequate also, the pyruvic acid is in second step. The pyruvic acid is converted into either ethanol or lactic acid, either ethanol or lactic acid, and very little amount of energy is released. In anaerobic respiration, very little amount of energy can be released. What about in aerobic respiration? Large amount of energy can be released. Okay. So what that little amounts are in anaerobic respiration? Nearly 1/10 of that is produced with adequate amount of oxygen. Okay. So that is the concept, children. So please by heart this and be perfect in this flow chart. Glucose to pyruvate 3-carbon compound plus energy glycolysis. If in second stage, the presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration, CO2 plus H2O plus energy, example, plants and animals. Whatever the other sides, if absence or not utilized oxygen or low amount of oxygen, anaerobic respiration, fermentation. If there are lactobacillus bacteria, lactic acid plus energy. If yeast, ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. In anaerobic respiration, very low amount of energy can be released, that nearly 1/10 of that is produced with adequate amount of oxygen. If the presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration, in that aerobic respiration, large amount of energy can be released. Okay, this is your session today, and thank you one and all. Let us meet in next session with beautiful sites. Thank you once again.
Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon. Hope you all written your examinations well. Is it? Why very sad faces? Okay, please turn on your videos, all of you. Good. Keep smile on your face. Very good. Okay. Then I can feel you written your examination very well. Okay, fine. Good. And did you hang your nutrition chart in your room? I have given you a task in the last session. Write all the vitamins, what is necessary for our Sunny, local Sunny. Did you hang? No. Naveen Kumar, Jayant, Sharanya. Okay, Fatima, Spurti, Malakshmi. No, nobody. Okay, students, today itself you must do it. Okay, today itself. Chamanti, sharing your earphone to someone, I think. Okay, fine. Anyway, okay, students, and we are in 10th chapter. Today we are going to end up this chapter. So after this, let us revise some of the chapters, especially first chapter we didn't discuss. I think I'll give you a summary of that chapter. Then after go to third chapter. Okay, so don't bother about that all. We will discuss everything. Okay, fine. And in the last session we have discussed about nutritious status. Is it? So what is nutritious status and what are the necessary nutrients level? It means necessary for each and every human being for his or her survival. This all topic we have discussed in the last session. Am I right? And one more thing, don't forget, increasing the food production. You have a topic in that, increasing the food product when we discuss. So reverse also you have to think, because per capita food availability is not at all accurate. We can see that. Okay, when you observe your surrounding, you can feel that is per capita average food availability is not accurate or correct, because many people roaming on road, and you can observe many people when we see their physical appearance, we can find that someone may very tall, so no weight. The same time, someone may very short when we compare their age. Yes or no? These all disability due to a lack of proper nutritious food. Okay, these all topics we are going to discuss today, and all of you please get your running note and ready. And topic is little boring, I know, because repeatedly we are discussing about nutritious and all. You may feel some boring because textual content today also, and take 3 long breath and sit patiently. Okay, fine. Please look at the screen. I hope everyone can see the screen now. Is it? Yes. Okay, students, chapter 10, food security in India. So you know the term, the meaning of food security. Now perfect, I think. Any questions if you get, especially you don't expect any textual question or textual content from this lesson, because everything based on contemporary issues which is related to our day-to-day life. Okay, so so many general questions related to what about the present situation of food availability in your village, and case studies about otherwise make a notice about the food security. So this type of questions you can expect from this chapter especially. And now let us see the topic. And here nutrition status, continuation of the last session, and one term you have here, NIN, National Institute of Nutrition. Actually this organization stands for check the nutrition status or nutrition level of our country. And here the survey conducted by the National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, NIN, across many states in the country confirmed the overall alarming status of nutrition in the country. While we have looked at case studies at the depict real family situation of undernutrition, lack of proper nutritious food, undernutrition a term, and poverty in the previous classes. It is also important to examine some of these faceless statistics. See, they help us to examine whether these situations are exceptions or an indication of a general trend. They also help us to look issues that may be hidden and not so obvious to common. Many terms you can see here. Just note down the meaning of the terms. All of you get ready with your running note. I have told you. So first is, while we have looked at case studies that depict real. What do you mean by depict? Shows. Okay, so real family situation of undernutrition. It means lack of nutrition level and poverty in previous classes or previous sessions. It is also important to examine the faceless statistics. What is statistics? It's a like what we call a dot of different nutritious level on a graph. They help us to examine whether these situations are exemption. What is exemption? Not included exemptions, we can say, or indication. What do you mean by indication? Of general trend. Indication nothing but noting general trend. They also help us to look at issues that may be hidden and not so obvious easily to common sense. As discussed above, to examine the nutritious status of children, simple but accurate measurement, height and weight are used. Very carefully listen that two terms, height and weight. You can see in Anganwadis, if you have Anganwadi closer to your home, once you visit there whenever a mother take their children for vaccination or anything, they will check the height of that particular baby and the weight. Both they will measure and they will record it somewhere, because age-wise height and weight they usually check in Anganwadis. Did anyone visit Anganwadis? If not, at least in next time when they have child vaccination or anything held in Anganwadi, please go and visit and try to understand how they measure that status. See, you could visit an Anganwadi and observe how this is carried out. Since children grow fast, their weight changes significantly with age, unlike in adults. For this indicator to be reliable and weight is to be accurately measured and correct age should be mentioned. See, this all the processes happening in the Anganwadis. In addition of general measures, many measures we have, like what we call nutritious level. Like first we have discussed about the statistics, like related to the height and weight, the nutrition level, how much food are distributed. This all one side. Addition of that, from birth itself, in Anganwadis, they have an indicator. Suppose whenever a mother take his child into the Anganwadis, they will check out. Okay, National Institute of Nutrition, please remember that point. Under that, okay, this all recorded and it forwarded to the central authority. So they will assess how many states or how many regions or different regions, how their strength of the children and what are the necessary food items to be distributed through public distributory system. This all they will calculate based on these records, especially through Anganwadis. All like whatever distributed to Anganwadis based on this all, because egg they are distributing, milk and some other product which is very healthy, okay, which is very good for the child health and moreover the mother. Okay, so this all you already experienced or you have seen in the Anganwadis. So based on this, National Institute of Nutrition is an authority, I have told you. Their aim is to improve it from birth itself, especially in different in the rural areas, different home and different families, some discrimination. Home is not a matter, but generally girl babies get less food than boys. It's a common fact, you all know that. When a boy baby born, immediately they will celebrate like anything, but when a girl baby born, very sad, Ammaya Abbaya, Abbai, Ammai, no response from the family members. It means very calm. I am not, don't take it is in your mind, and generally, okay, it's like society have a rule, we can say. Some regions, it's not in urban area, especially rural area, they like so that discrimination can cover up through this, because in Anganwadis or public distributed system is very effective, but even though Anganwadi is very helpful for in this case. Okay, so see this index, you will get more idea about how they make this all notes in a graph. See, charts used in Anganwadis to measure the weight of the girl weight as per the age, birth to 5th year they have given. If you see these columns, you will get an idea. Please look at the screen carefully, all of you. See here, week or month they have given, first week, second week, third week, fourth week, up to 12, 1 year. Okay, one bar you can see here, and next like that up to 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years graph they have given. And these lines all here, see, y-axis weight they have mentioned here. Okay, so these all information boxes, and you can understand this line you can see here. Can you see the red line here, a red line? So this line shows the height and weight of that particular boy or girl. Okay, identified dots we can see here. See here weeks from birth to 5 years. Okay, months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4th year, 5th year. It's a statistics. This means I have told you per average, because how many children reached there, and based on that data, they prepared a graph to understand the nutritious level of the pupil, or especially small kids up to 5 years, because within this time, if they get any, like if they lag on any nutritious food, it affects their future. Even you people, you all got very good and nutritious food in your childhood. Your parents provided, just because of you are very strong and energetic. Am I right? Yes. So when we see this and see the what it shows, and next paragraph, you'll get clear idea about this. See, these reading are then plotted nothing but a dot shows for gives some meaning against chart that have been developed by nutritionists to examine if they fall within a normal range or below. For example, they have given, when we plot the weight of a child against his age, it tells us whether the child is underweight or less weight or lacking on any nutrition. This is for one child. What does the NIN survey indicate? Out of the 7,000 children in the age group 1 to 5 years examined in the survey from many states in the country, 45% of the children are underweight. See the status, 45 National Institute of Nutrition, based on their data, 45% of the children are underweight or less weight when we compare our country. Okay, in different states it may be, overall they have. Their weight was less than what expected by normal standard. See, like in your family or in your surrounding, these children are in fact hunger stricken. It means seriously affected, some diseases, lack of hunger stricken, that term meaning seriously affected, lack of nutritious food, and not getting adequate food unless they are severely underweight. It may not easily visible or identifiable. Going just by common sense, we fail to realize that enormous number of children in the country are underweight. We are so used to seeing such children that we take as normal. The survey jolts. What is the meaning of jolts? Tell me. Shocking. What shocking here? Our common sense and make us to realize that this situation would seriously affect the growth and capacities of nearly half of the total number of the children in the country. Okay, see here, actually this all per capita average status, even though we all checking this all, then accurate information, individual information still we won't get. Am I right? In Anganwadis also we are giving the details, even fine, that all. But when we gather this all, what type of nutritious food provided to them, and how can we overcome these all problems? Suppose when a person grow, height may be, he has sufficient height. For that, we have another status or another report here. The report says the overall prevalence of underweight was about 45%. It was significantly higher among 3 to 5 years compared to 1 to 3 year children. The prevalence was more than 50% in the states of Gujarat, in the Gujarat 50% and 58 Madhya Pradesh 56.9 and Uttar Pradesh 53.2, and observed lowest in Kerala. When it comes to Kerala, 24% only under health or under nutritious, we can say that. Rest all, see, even Andhra Pradesh, Telangana also may include in this. Okay, the overall prevalence, you have a term there. What is the meaning of the term prevalence? Importance. Okay, of serve undergrowth. And here about 16%. A nutritionist compare 3 different charts for preschool children. This is given below. See, what is that? Here, see here, this graph, when you see this graph, you will get an indicator. Weight is plotted against age. Underweight, 45% already we have discussed. Height is plotted against age. Height plotted nothing but shows. Weight is plotted against age. Underweight, what does it shows for children below the normal age? And height is plotted. When we see the height, see stunting a term you have. What is the meaning of stunt? Child was low height to their age. That we call stunt. What is the meaning of stunt? Height is low when we compare his age. Okay, height is low when we compare his age, we call stunt. When children are undernourished, or undernourished meaning bad health, okay, lack of proper nutritious food, generally we call undernourished, okay, undernourished for a long time, their bone growth is affected. Such children would short-heighted for their age. It is difficult to cover this. Very difficult, this what we call lack of proper nutritious food in the young age, their height, short height. Okay, some people you can see in your surrounding short height. They are not growing. 41% of people we have in that. When it comes to wasting a term, you have a low weight for the height. Low weight for the height. They have height, but there is no wasting a term, meaning you please mention weight is plotted here. Okay, some people very tall, height, okay, fine. But when they're like strength, it means there is no yes. This indicates a child, it can be covered because if we give some nutritious food, they may become very stronger, healthier. Stunting and wasting, please not that 2 terms, write the meaning of that. Stunt related to height, low height. Waste in the sense they have height, but there is no fat. It means health, generally health we can say. These all the disabilities or diseases we can see in the childhood. Okay, so this graph is very essential. Sometimes they may give some points to you and you must explain for that. And underweight we can cover because if we give first one, explain your own words. Weight is plotted against age. Weight can be increased if we give some nutritious food. First column blank, you can see that. 45% of the children in our country suffering from that. Okay, fine. So here the nutrition status among adult men and women is measured using body mass index, one BMI. Write a full form of that BMI. What it's like BMI stands for body mass index. Already you have learned in the previous class. You have read about these earlier classes, BMI, weight in kgs and height in meters. This index is compared with the range to show if the individual is underweight. Okay, weight less or more. Within normal range or overweight, a high value shows excess fat and a low value shows the level that is less than what is required. Okay, one more BMI, body mass index. How it so a high value shows excess fat, more fat, and low value shows a level that is less than what is required. According to NIN, National Institute of Nutrition's report, the situation of the adult men and women as follows. First beginning, I have told you what is the situation. See, the prevalence of chronic energy deficiency, BMI, was 10%. About 35% of adult women had chronic energy deficiency and 14% were overweight, obese. So here see, lack of like chronic energy deficiency, most of the girls, women, that discrimination, like you may get a question from this. What may be the reason for chronic energy deficiency of women? What may be the reason? General topic you have to take because you know discrimination in the society. Many women, child or kids not getting nutritious food. These all things you can add with that. And 40% were overweight, obese. What is the meaning of obese? Very fat persons. Can't do anything. The prevalence of chronic energy deficiency was high in the states of Odisha. Highest where in Odisha, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, followed by 33 to 38% in Karnataka. Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and West Bengal. How is this related to food security? A doctor who is working in rural area of Chhattisgarh, running a community health program, it seems, where streams of underweight patients come every day, explained this link. From a study of patients, he found that public distributed system, the problem of public distributed system, actually per month they are getting 35 kg of rice or 35 kg of rice. That is not sufficient, it seems, for a family within 11 to 12 days. That completes. After that, they should depend on any other shops or especially wholesale or retail shop for getting the food grains. There also one more problem, their affordability. They have no sufficient amount with them to purchase from the outside shop or any other shops. Okay, rest of the month they have to depend on to the market or their process. One more case study you have here the same way. What is that? Example, a rickshaw puller in Bilaspur who earns 70 to 80 rupees, it seems, a day, who try to survive on PDS grain. Actually, he depends on public distributed system, even though he should spend 400, 100 electricity and other expenditure. It was not surprising that lost weight caught tuberculosis, a disease, losing weight. Another case study. These measures are thus indicators of food security. The doctor from Chhattisgarh says no one would have a lower weight or height if he or she had access to adequate food. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. We can judge all process like efficiency of PDS, the importance given to growing food crops, and the purchasing power of the people by looking at body parameters like weight and height. Besides, a person height can also tell us whether food was available during his or her childhood. We can still choose to describe underweight and stunted pupils. What is meaning by stunned? I have told you in the beginning, child was stunted. What is the meaning? Stunt. Yes, height. Pupil as malnourished. It means lack of suffering, some diseases due to malnutritious or malnutrition, we can say, if you like. But I suggest the correct term would be hunger. So another term they have given, the same term we have to write there, hunger. Hunger is a main problem for this one. 2 case studies they have given. Second one, really, it's like his income is not sufficient to get a food product from the market. Losing weight, tuberculosis or some other diseases affected. Okay, so, and coming to CW part. Okay, it's the end of the chapter. So go through, and when it concludes this chapter, we must remember all the points, whatever we discuss in this chapter. First is food security and scarcity of food security, public distribution system, and per capita food availability. And next is today, whatever the topic we have discussed. Okay, don't worry. So if you see the textual or textual questions, you will get a clarity about it. See, suppose that the food grain production has been affected in a particular year because of natural calamities. Nothing but earthquake, flood, or any other natural calamities. In what ways can the government ensure higher availability of food grains for the year? That is a question. In what ways can the government ensure higher availability of food grains for the year? Buffer stock, I have told you, one way. And what are the other steps government can take? Right here onward. Find a solution for that. Okay, if a place or a region affected any calamities like earthquake or flood or any other calamities, what measures government should take? And use an imaginary example from your context to describe the relationship between underweight and access to food. Underweight, already have told you what is the meaning. Lack of nutritious food, losing the strength. Okay, and access to food, availability of food. what relationship, and you can write there. And analyze a weak food habits of your family, create a table to explain nutrition elements included in it. In the last session I have told you clearly what steps you have to take, because analyze oppo A31, very good, getting sufficient nutritious food, I think. Very active. Fine, very good. Okay, analyze a weak food habit of your family members. And in addition of that, all the new, dear students, I will tell you just an example, because now you all very energetic. Did you get me? Yes. In future, after 30s or for 30, 25, 30 years, after 30s, you won't get this strength or stamina, because what all the food or what all the nutritious food included in your menus now, you will get good strength in future. You can see in our society many people roaming on road and many people staying in home without doing any job, lack of stamina, we can say. There is no energy in them. And many people getting different types of diseases. Even coronavirus case, we can take an example. Am I right? How many people affected corona? Just check out their physical condition and their stamina of their body. So those who are in weak, those people affected, and those people death cases also you want to check. So these all from childhood. Just because of that, they are checking the nutritious food level from their childhood, first year, 1 year onwards, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so please make a chart today itself and paste it in your home and inform your parent. Describe the relationship between increase in food production and food security. Just increase in food production and food security. All the facts you have to remember when you write answer for that question. Food production and food security, that relation. And give reason to argue for the following statement. Public distribution system can ensure better food security for the people. A statement they have given. If it like failure, you have to write. What are the good positive things sides you find you can write. Okay, so both you have to write when you, and make a similar poster about the food security. If you want any changes, you can make that also. And read the last paragraph of page 1, number 138. Studies indicate for access, and write your opinion, only your opinion. Don't try to copy the same paragraph. Okay, write only your opinion. And next is locate the following in the map of India: Karnataka, Odisha, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Some states they have given. Okay, and before you write your CWs, I have told you the procedure. Style sheet first, lesson name. Okay, chapter name, that we call style sheet. Then after keywords, find some keywords. And in this lesson, important terms: NIN. Please note it down. NIN, BMI, body mass index, NIN, national nutrition level, and per capita food availability, and average, that another term, average food availability. And these all points you just write in the keyword column. Okay. Okay, done. So in the next chapter session, we will go with another chapter, chapter 3. So anyway, thank you for attending the class and listening to the class very, very, what we call, patiently and effectively. Thank you all. And please stay online for a second.
Dear students, good evening. If you have missed any of yesterday's examination, today we are going to conduct like yesterday. And another important thing is, on Sunday you are going to have a webinar, a free webinar on career in commerce. Okay, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This will help you to decide which course to select after 10th class and which career you should take up. Okay, so please don't miss this career guidance seminar. It is open to all the students. Only thing is you have to register before to get the link. I'll forward the registration form link to you now. Please check out in the chat box. Please check out the link that I have sent you. you should use this link and register yourself to attend the free webinar on career guidance in commerce. Okay. Thank you all. Just to copy the link, I'll close the meeting. You can slowly register yourself. Shall I close?